Hello, everyone. I am Bear Wiseman, and I'm doing yet another gathering of geeks. And today we're here with Matti and Juha, also known as Matt Magic and Tretja of Vansidian.
Wow.
And I have heard that you guys are geeks.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no denying. Yeah, Matti can tell more about the band's history, but we have, lots of at least influences in our music with nerdy stuff, with computer games. At least you can fill me up, Matti, if you want to.
Well, basically, all melodies I'll compose to the songs are mainly from some video games and influenced by some video games. And sometimes even when I compose, I like realize that, oh, this is straight from a video game. I just need to twist it a little bit and make it my own. So yeah, it's a big influence. Video game music is big influence in our band and the composing I'll make for the band. So
what are some of your... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just adding that, we have all a bit different backgrounds, but we all like video games and nerdy stuff a lot. So
if you guys had a tour bus, it would be decked out with PlayStation, Xbox, computers.
Yeah. I would imagine if the sky was the limit, and there was no budget or anything. Yeah, so maybe even a flipper and
arcade machines.
Because we like the old school stuff as well.
Incredible. So what are some of your favorite video game soundtracks then? What are some of the most influential video game music tracks that you can think of?
Oh, that's a good one. You want to start? There's so many.
There's so many. Like, I guess the ultimate best one is Mega Man 2 from Nintendo 8-bit system. Like, those melodies stick in your head and they are catchy and great. I wish I would be that good of a composer like those guys are. Now that I think something more, Ninja Gaiden series has great tracks also. Chip and Dale's Turtle games have great soundtracks. Like, the list goes on and on. But I guess Mega Man 2 is the ultimate number one for me.
Yeah, and a bit about our backgrounds, as you can maybe now see that Matti has been more maybe playing NES, Nintendo stuff, console stuff. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I haven't been so much when I was younger, so much into consoles. I've been, Commodore 64 and Amiga. So I'm that kind of guy, and my favorites come from there. And I have actually, because I'm a collector of retro games, this is one of my favorites. Amiga game, Shadow of the Beast 2. I fucking love the soundtrack. It's awesome.
Epic.
And I don't own it yet, but I'm planning to own. It's really, really high price at the moment, but I'm planning to get it. Turrican 2 as well. Soundtrack, just amazing. I love those, and there are many of these Amiga games that I love also. Xenon 2, Mega Blast, the Bitmap Brothers game, they make such great music there. So I'm into that kind of stuff, so mostly, but of course Nintendo stuff has influenced me as well, but maybe a bit more on Matti's side on that.
Well, wasn't actually you guys, I know I talked about this in an interview with someone once for Tuonel, and it might have been you guys on Instagram TV, that a friend of mine had mentioned that there was something kind of beautiful in the simplicity of this music that that's why it kind of got stuck in your head. It wasn't too complicated. It was like, you know, it's not the hardest thing in the world to remember. And that was why they became so catchy. And I was curious if you agreed with that or had thought more about it.
Yeah, I remember we spoke about that last time we made the interview. And the amazing thing about those composers back in the day, at least I know that Amiga only had like 4 channels of music, so they had to be very creative about only making music with 4 channels. So
Yeah,
and I think they sound massive, even though there's only like 4 channels of music.
Yeah, I remember not doing much, but I had a tracker program in Amiga, and you have 4 tracks, but you put multiple instruments on one track, so it's filled up because it has like 3 instruments on one track. So, and that was amazing. I remember that. So, but maybe that was the thing, because you didn't have so much possibilities as nowadays, so you had to make or put more effort to that 4 tracks. And they became simple but still massive. And of course there's this nostalgic value as well. So when you play the games as a kid, they stick into your head forever.
I just saw a friend of mine who said to me that he doesn't understand why people go back to those old games. They were so simple, and the difficult level was super easy, or you die all the time. So he doesn't see the point of going back to those games. But I don't know. I just love.
Yeah, can't help it.
A few of my friends and I just got that Castlevania Classic bundle or something, and so over the last couple of years, when we haven't been able to go out, we were playing Castlevania together, starting, I think, the first 3 games or something. Oh, beautiful.
I also have the first Castlevania.
I have it there as well.
But I would like to have the third one, but it's so expensive.
Yes, they're really expensive. Some of the classics.
But truly, the difficulty level in at least Castlevania 2 was, we could never have finished that if we didn't have one friend who has kind of OCD who's really good at gaming. The rest of us had already like smashed our controllers into a million pieces and given up.
So do you have to have OCD to make it out of these games?
It might be like just like natural skills at gaming and an obsessive compulsive desire to complete it.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was bad. It was a rough night.
Yeah. Many hours have been spent.
Yeah, many curse words have been said.
Many controllers have been destroyed.
That's good.
I don't remember what my brother used to play back in the day, but he had a big old Nojatuoli, like an armchair in his room that he kind of set up in the closet next to his systems and everything like that. It's very cozy. But you started to notice after a while that this divot started to form where he was smashing it when he was angry. We were wondering, why is there this weird like lump in the arm of this chair?
Oh, nice. So nice.
Brute forcing it with rage for a few years, and time took its toll. Yeah, so obviously, though, I think it's completely unrealistic to say that there's no good video game music anymore. I mean, obviously, they have symphonies and everything that they can use. There's no limitations to what you can put in a video game track anymore. But that said, like, it might maybe be true that some songs they don't stick with you quite as well because they aren't so simple. So are there any modern songs that you've really enjoyed, like modern video game songs that really stuck with you?
Yes, there are. For me, at least. Do you have some?
I can't get anything on my mind.
Okay, well, I have, I have these, I love fantasy games. Of course, I love Skyrim and those kind of music. And Witcher also, I played those many hours. So I love those scores there. That what they have done, the whole Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls Saga from the first game on. I played them, and it's really cool. It has been top notch all the time, and of course, when you love the genre, you know you love the music and that kind of elements it brings on, and also some sci-fi games are really good and have really good soundscapes and that kind of stuff, like Dead Space comes into mind, and what was the? No, I can't remember the name. The Mass Effect series also, of course, I played those, so those come into mind. Kind of modern games, yeah.
I think Skyrim's soundtrack's pretty iconic at this time. I think total, I'd probably put like 300 hours into that game, so I didn't even realize I necessarily knew the music to it until I played the soundtrack without the game, and I was like, oh, nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in Whiterun. This is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are obviously cool ones. But of course, when you love the game, you get more into the music as well. So
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's been a few other good ones. The Dragon Age Inquisition theme, I think, was pretty epic.
Dragon Age was also a great series, and like the music as well. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little Dragon Age then, because I just feel like those 3 games were so different, and I love digging into this with people because.
Okay.
Sorry if only one of you has played it. Because the first game was very like map-based. You gather your team, and then you go fight evil. And the second one was very more like story-based, and really almost I felt like lazy in the general production, but like they really put all the details into the story, so it was had upsides and downsides, and then they just like opened the whole thing up with a third one, so every game was hugely different. So,
that is true. That's true. It's been a while that I played those, but I remember at first I was disappointed at the third one because a lot of the changes visually and that kind of course, they tried to get more younger people to play it as well. So it was that kind of that I noticed that I didn't like at first. But yeah, I played it through. But still, I like more the first and the second one. Maybe the second one even because it was so, like you said, story driven, and I love stories that get me hooked onto that stuff. So I have to play like 20 hours straight, and I love it. that kind of games. Yeah.
One of the things I thought was coolest about Dragon Age 2 was it was one of the few games that I know where so many of the side quests would just expand on the main story. So there was something like, my wife went missing and everyone thinks that I murdered her. Can you please help me out? To Act 2 where, like a few women have actually kind of been going missing, to Act 3 where it's like, actually, my mother also got murdered and there's a serial killer who's being super creepy, and this affects like your character going forward because someone in your personal family gets murdered. And if you hadn't done those 2 quests in the first 2 acts, you'd come into the 3rd act like, what? Suddenly my mom is murdered and I have no backstory for this.
Yeah, so it deepens really the plot or the theme of the game, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever played a game that had kind of gone that deeply into it. Then the flip side was, of course, that basically there was 3 dungeons and they just changed the skin on them slightly every time.
Yeah. Well,
you put all your budget into storytelling, I guess you lose a little to put towards level design.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at this point, I guess I have to put my all-time favorite game. If I have to mention one game, it's like The Beholder. It comes from kind of same kind of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So this is the shit, as they say. I even have the tattoo here of the Beholders because it's my favorite game. I remember encountering Beholder first time in that game. Oh my god! So it's a bit. It's the stuff that I like.
I love the Beholder because even the Beholder originally does come from D&D, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But I love that it's almost known enough that the casual geek who's never played D&D might still know who the Beholder is.
That's a Beholder, yeah. That is true. Yeah.
I don't think my mom would know what a Beholder is, but
Well, that is true. That is true.
I have heard the name, but I haven't played the game.
Yeah. And it's a funny clue, actually. Other nerdy things that I like myself. I play Magic the Gathering as well, card game, and they have the latest release that they have is from Forgotten Realms that has a Beholder. So
nice.
It's a cool that I noticed the new set that they released. That, oh my god, they have Beholder there. So it was fun because it was from the same world. So it was nice addition to the Geeks life. So
Forgotten Realms, where the Driz stories took place. I can never remember which was.
Right.
There's Dragonlance and there was the other one, which was that Forgotten Realms?
Mixed up with those as well, really much, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to say anything wrong because I'm not sure.
Those are those kind of books that when I was young, I was like, Dragonlance? Dungeons and Dragons? What? Forgotten Realms? This sounds incredible. But then I went to my local library and there was never the first book in any trilogy there. So
oh no.
it was,
and it's not a good idea to start from the middle, maybe.
Yeah, trying to pick up like the second or third book in a trilogy and like, dragons and stuff. This is gonna be awesome. And then like, this makes no sense. None at all.
Yeah. I remember getting some of those. I still have in my bookshelf some of the old Dragonlance stuff that I started to read, but I haven't read them all. But I have lots of friends that are really fanatic about those. So I wasn't that fanatic, but I've read my share of them as well. So.
I think I started to meet other nerds kind of right around the time when I was discovering that maybe Forgotten Realms wasn't for me, and so it was almost like one of those, that's like generic fantasy for generic nerds.
Yeah.
And
I know.
I think I was
big stuff, and I haven't dig that deep myself either. But
I think when I was like 12 or something, I thought that like, oh man, I can't get into this, and then I think I just kind of made up for that. Well, it's generic fantasy. I'm sad to say that I've never read The Soul Forged, which is the story that Blind Guardian wrote their song off.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm at least a failure as a Blind Guardian fan for not reading that series.
Me neither. So in the same boat. But yeah, I guess I started first with my cousins. We started to play Dungeons and Dragons, but quite quickly we started to make our own adventures. We had fun with that kind of stuff. So we got influences from Dungeons and Dragons. We played it a bit, and we played some Finnish role-playing games as well. But we mostly got influences out of them, and then we made our own because my cousin and I, like drawing, and got a lot of ideas. And then we made our own maps, so that when we visited after maybe many months, the other one had made already, a whole campaign of shit, and then we played it, or he played it to me that, no, you can come to play with my dungeon or whatever he had made. So fun. I hope we have some of those drawings and maps still somewhere on my parents' cabin. I'm not sure, but maybe. But it was amazing when we met after many months again. Then one of us had made a whole campaign, a new story, and then the other one played it through and something like that. So it was cool.
Magical. I love that. There's for sure a difference, I think, in like creative fun stuff when you're a kid and an adult. I used to, be this dorky kid who didn't super have any friends, so I'd bound home from work and write thousands of words of fantasy story just puking nonsense out of my head. I guess I was making up characters I liked because I didn't have so many friends.
Uh, well, I just came home with my computer, so
Yeah, just thousands and thousands and thousands of words. And now ask me when the last time I worked on my novel is. Ask me. Don't ask me. I don't want to admit it. It's
when
fine.
was the last time? When I was 12.
Well, I did write a children's book
Oh, really?
this summer,
Oh,
but
cool.
I have not worked on my novel since probably last year.
Okay, well, it's not that far away.
Oh yeah, no, it's going great. I've been working on it since January 2008.
Okay. Work in progress.
Yeah, it's definitely
One day when you have time.
for those people who think like, oh, I never put anything out. Don't worry, other people are worse at this than you.
Yeah,
Oh no.
at least we have our band.
Yeah. And
Hey, you guys
Some
have
songs
released,
are yeah.
Yeah.
you guys have released 3 songs. That's 3 more things than I have.
And new one is on their way. So
Yeah.
yeah, and when I gathered some of my nerdy stuff here on the table so I can share still some when we were talking about old school Dungeons and Dragons. And this is one. This is a huge one. Hero Quest.
Whoa.
This is my crown jewel, maybe. Nah, not really, but it's really cool. So this is what I played as a kid as well.
Epic.
Hero. So such an awesome game as well, and I'm happy to have it still in good condition there on my shelf. Though nobody wants to play with me.
I want to play with you. Do I need to move to Tampere?
Hey, yeah, not that far away. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
So that was cool. What else do I have here?
Joystick.
Yeah, this is the best joystick ever. Up to this is when you had Commodore 64 and some of the sports game where you have to shovel this goddamn joystick heavily. So this was the best joystick for that. So I have plenty of this in my cabin. Cabinet.
That soft round top, because I remember those Nintendo 64 cabins. We had Mario Party at our summer cabin, and when you had to do the super fast swirling, we all had these like sick blisters on our hands at the end of the summer. And you could see that the joystick was wearing down. There was like chronic like grind powder around the inside of the little thing that bulbs.
This is actually broken as well because I had a couple of years ago I had a birthday party, and we had this competition with my friends who came to my birthday party that let's play Commodore 64 and have a competition. So we played so hard that this goddamn thing broke. So we had to cancel the tournament because it broke. So, but it was fun. It was really fun.
I haven't done too many of these in my life, but I think a good party night is to get just like maybe up to 10 people together and then just pick a classic game like like an old Mario or something like that. Just see if you can play through the whole thing in one night. And
yes. I can't figure out any better way to party.
Honestly, I've only done this 2 or 3 times ever, but it's always been a great night. So I don't know why I don't do it more often.
Yeah, you should. You should. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to Helsinki to meet my friends, and we're just gonna play Magic the Gathering, have a couple of beers, and that's it. We have no other plans. So I'm loving it.
Sounds like a perfect night.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I know already.
I've only ever played Magic the Gathering once, but I won. So I'm going to keep it that way. Undefeated and untied. I'm like I'm like Bill Murray in Space Jam. I don't know if that movie ever came here, but it was real cheesy where Michael Jordan plays basketball.
It's one of my favorite childhood movies.
Yeah.
I actually just went to see the new one with my girlfriend, and we were both like, it's not as good as the original.
There's a new one?
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
You have the
LeBron
shirt.
James.
I remember you have the shirt even. Or do you? Do I remember
Yeah, I
wrong?
have a Space Jam.
Yeah,
shirt,
I think I remember that
Oh.
I've seen it on camera or something. Yeah.
I think that last time I watched that movie, like there was like a party at my house, and it was the next day hangover movie because everyone that was hanging out was dads. So they only want to watch children's cartoons on hangover days now.
That's the best one.
They asked for like some bad kids movie, so I put on Space Jam, and I was man, does it still hold up? Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in ages.
We just watched it a couple months ago, and I still think it's a great movie.
Okay,
It's-
cool. I have to
it's-
watch it
yeah.
as well someday.
Truly some iconic moments in that one for sure. I think I remember being really impressed by the animation of the aliens when I was young, especially when it was shown against the cartoon character like Bugs Bunny and everything, who
Mhm.
in the 90s already looked, they'd had a facelift from the classics, but they were teasing a little bit of 3D at that point with the aliens, and I was as a kid just like, whoa, this looks so cool.
Was it the same time that the Roger Rabbit movie came? Because I remember that was
Roger Rabbit's
first one
older.
that. Okay, it's older. Because that's I remember it's being one of the first that added, that kind of 3D and drawn graphics to real footage. So
Yeah.
I just remember that movie better than Space Jam, maybe myself.
Like most people, I almost exclusively remember that movie for Jessica Rabbit and the dying shoe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That is true.
I was
remember
for
the-
sure one of those people that was messed up by that shoe and never wanted to watch that movie again.
Yeah, crazy movies. Actually, last year I started to, when we were talking about old movies, I watched some old 80s movies that I watched when I was a kid, like Gremlins, and then I watched kind of the same category, The Critters, and it was fun to watch them. They were really good, actually, and I learned, I didn't know at the time, that The Critters is actually based on a true story. And that was crazy. I didn't know. I Googled it up and I was, what? And then I had to, I watched it like from a totally different perspective after that. What? This is based on, loosely, of course, but still it's based on eyewitness stories that something came out of space. And, it was really great to watch it after that, after we read the story about the behind it. That was good.
Oh, good. That's the kind of thing that would freak me the absolute heck out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
I can't remember how old I was, but basically the reason I don't really watch horror movies is between the Blair Witch Project and the Mothman Prophecies. I either found them too boring or too scary. Because I went
Okay.
to see the Mothman Prophecies, which a lot of people will probably mock me for being afraid of that movie, but I didn't know I was going to see a horror movie that night. Like, we didn't
Okay.
know anything about this movie. We thought we were going to see a murder mystery or something like that. We thought Richard Gere was playing like a detective or something, and based on a true story, and this bridge really did collapse in real life, and I could not go out after dark for 2 years after seeing that movie by myself, and that's an awkward thing when you're a teenager to not be able to walk after dark. That you'll get made fun of.
Yeah, I liked it also. It was really good, and though many people don't like it, I liked Blair Witch Project as well. I remember I was actually in England at the moment, and I saw it there. I don't know, just on a vacation, and I saw it there, and it was really good. I remember because it was premiere night. It was during the midnight, the show, so it gave an extra scary punch there. So it was really, really good. I remembered after that, but now seeing it later on, it hasn't held up that well.
It's a little
But then when I
boring.
saw it first time in England at night time, it was good. Yeah. So
When that movie first came out, I think there had been some kind of campaigning or something for it that it's like it's based on true stories or something that wasn't true. But
I remember those as well.
my brothers were working as tree planters in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, and so they were convinced that there was like a witch that stalked the woods and that it was probably in their camp.
Oh my gosh.
Truly terrified by this movie, and then found out later that that was all kind of a hoax, and they're like, oh, so we were terrified for nothing. Thanks.
Yeah. But who knows?
I mean,
Yeah.
it really, to me, just seemed like a bunch of people who got lost in the woods and then fell down some stairs.
Yeah. Something like
And at least if you watch it a second time, the first time it's creepy, and then the second time you're just like, come on, guys.
yeah, that is
You
true.
lost.
That is
Admit it.
it's lost. Yeah. Someone's messing around with the camera.
I guess it's kind of like The Sixth Sense. Some movies don't have great replay value. You learn everything the first time.
Yeah, that's about it. You don't have to see it another time.
So what about
But yeah.
the classic geek films? Are you guys much into movies, or was it always more games?
I was just coming to that as well. So Matti, we are huge Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I have tattooed Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighters here. So
Empire Strikes Back is one.
Yeah.
Like the best of the series.
best of the movies ever. You know. Yeah, so Matti has all these figures and everything.
Yeah, I got some figures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was this game Disney made, like some Disney Universe or something. I can't even recall, but they made
Like
this.
Disney Infinity or something like that?
Yeah, Disney Infinity. Yeah, and I was like, I had to buy all those Star Wars characters in that game. I haven't actually played that game that much. I just had to buy all those figures for the game. And when I finished my collection, then they announced that this series is going to end. They're not going to continue Disney Infinity. So I was like,
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh,
How did
yeah.
that game work? Like, what did the figures actually do? Because I knew that was one of those things that I couldn't touch because I'd get obsessed with it and then I'd spend all of my money buying their figures. So I fully ignored it completely. I was always curious about how it worked.
well, you have this plate where you can put those figures, and then the figure just displays on the screen, and you can play as that character.
So it's just buying more characters.
It's more made for the children, of course. The game is not that hard and pretty simple, but as an idea of really like picking up the figure from your shell and put into the plate, and then you're like, oh, now it's there. Let's
That's a nice idea,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. I like it.
I'm looking forward to more like holographic gaming and stuff like that in the future.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, still, as a huge Star Wars fan as I am as well of the movies, I haven't played that many Star Wars games. Actually, I was thinking that when I was younger, I played some of them with my PC when, I don't know, some TIE Fighter and that kind of stuff. But, the latest one, Battlegrounds and that kind of stuff, I haven't played really. I played Jedi Outcast when it came out, the first one, but that's it. I haven't played those so much. Haven't had the time to play computer games. God damn it! Too busy making good music.
Well, I have, of course, played the one from NES
Yeah,
and couple from Super Nintendo. But this Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic RPG game, I played those a lot.
I played a bit that. Yeah, I tried it, but
Heard good things about those, I think.
Yeah, we had original Xbox, and I played a lot of those games.
I had it also on Xbox 360 or some of that. some Star Wars game. I can't remember.
You could make yourself as a Jedi, and that was so awesome.
So that would be cool if I would play some VR game, because they have it on VR as well. So I could be a Jedi there. Oh god, that would be nice. I'd like to try that one day, maybe.
There's a really weird game that I've tried in VR. It's called like Beat Saber, and
Okay.
it's kind of a Star Wars ripoff in the sense that you play with basically lightsabers, and
Okay.
you just play to a rhythm and you try and slice these cubes that are coming at you, and they've got arrows on them to tell you which direction to hit them and things like that. It's a shockingly hard game, and
All right.
you look real silly when you're playing it, because you kind of get
when you play VR games.
you get into this weird like hunched forward position where you're kind of in this, I don't know, like
why your back is aching or something.
yeah, like kind of like you're holding in a poop really bad or something.
Yeah.
Keeping your core control and trying not to fall over.
Yeah.
I guess this is why we were never cool, because gaming doesn't ever usually make you look cool.
Might be so. Oh, but it still is.
Okay. More and more people are realizing that now. So
yeah, it is nowadays. It's becoming actually, or it has already come a bit cool. I've noticed, at least myself, when I go to some. There are actually some good gaming bars in here in Tampere. Really cool. Very cool that they arrange some tournaments there. I've gone to play there, Magic the Gathering, and they have some retro evenings as well. So it's really cool. And you see you see old people, you see young people there. So it's really cool. And they don't look so nerdy as they used to, I would say. So it's become quite popular nowadays. And it's even cool to be a bit nerd, I would say.
Yeah, well, gaming is a lot more mainstream.
I bet back in the days everybody has been a geek, but they haven't had the courage to show it. Yeah,
that is true.
They just didn't want to own it.
A bit cooler, you can just go there on a bar, have a beer, and play some games, and be cool. Something like that.
I had an okay time because I was a girl. So if the cool guys didn't want me, at least the nerds would be more than happy to take me in.
Nerd thing. Oh my god, a girl likes computer games.
I truly hate to say this because I'm not the kind of person who really likes this, but when I went to college, I joined the anime and games club there because the guy I was seeing at the time encouraged me to go make friends, but they were also kind of the geekiest of the geekiest guys, and I hate to say I had this kind of harem that followed me around all the time. I was like, come on, guys. Come on, be cool.
Yeah.
Really nice guys, but not the best with girls.
Yeah, I feel that I've always been like in between there, because I've played in a band still, and still being the nerdy guy. So it was during the recession, I was playing Magic the Gathering with the nerdy guys, and then after school we went to band room to play heavy metal. So I was somewhere in between there. I don't know.
Now you can be both.
Yeah, and now I can be both as well.
So what was it about Empire Strikes Back that made it the best?
What makes it the best? I don't know. Maybe it's the combination. I don't know. Say if your idea differs from me. I think it's the first one is more about the lore, and there's action as well, but the second one combines it so well. I don't know. Maybe it's that, or do you have some other ideas?
I just don't know. It's just always when you watch it, you're like, wow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The rest of those stuff doesn't give that feeling necessarily. Like,
yeah, well,
Boba Fett comes in that movie.
That is true.
And there's awesome fight scene between father and son.
Yeah, of course. There's these iconic moments. That's maybe that's
The
maybe one.
father reveal, super iconic
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so that might be one thing as well. Yeah. Hard to say.
Yeah.
It's easier to say from alien movies or something like that, but in Star Wars. But yeah, I agree. Empire Strikes Back is the best one. If I have to say one, but
I
it's
think
hard to analyze.
on the objective level, it might be the best because, like you said, A New Hope is for sure just a lot about setting the scene and getting
true.
things ready for Luke.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's for sure a good starter, but things
Yeah.
don't get going until the Empire really strikes back. And
Yeah.
I guess the Return of the Jedi kind of not everyone was into the Ewoks. I don't know.
Mhm. It was a bit, yeah. Yeah.
And the atmosphere in Hoth is like so cool.
That is
Icy
also
and snowy.
yeah. That's true. It was a bit grim, maybe even Empire Strikes Back. So
But I have to say that, like, for me, Phantom Menace is also a great movie because I was young at that age when they released the episodes 1 and 3, and I learned Star Wars basically through those movies. And I still think Darth Maul is pretty badass.
it was that bad.
Yeah, that's not that bad movie. Like, I think it has the greatest swords fight, say lightsaber fights at least, compared to the new trilogy they made. They suck. But like the battle between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul, it's so epic. Like, I don't know how they didn't manage to do those kind of battles in these recent movies.
Yeah.
There was something weird about putting Yoda in a fight in the prequel trilogy. It's like, of course, everyone wants to see Yoda get badass, like obviously, but also Yoda feels like kind of the character who doesn't fight really. Like
That is true.
He's the Zen old sage. He does. So of course, like, yeah, you like to see him, and he's just little flipping ninja, and it's awesome. But at the same time, you're like, but isn't Yoda like the pacifist? Isn't he the one who like is so zen and chill about everything that he doesn't need to fight?
Yeah.
They had some great fight scenes.
Yeah. It was okay. It was a bit funny. It's a bit funny, like you mentioned, but it managed.
I think I was young enough that I wasn't super young. I was in my late teens, I think, when the Phantom Menace came out. But I remember seeing it. I was never super invested in the original trilogy. I liked them, but I wasn't obsessed with them. I was always a little more into fantasy than sci-fi. So Lord of the Rings over Star Wars for me. But I remember going to see it and I was like, yeah, okay, sure. It was weird that Anakin was a lot younger than his eventual wife, but that was the only thing that really kind of wigged me out when I was like 19.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, talking about Star Wars and also the musics, The Mandalorian, god damn it.
Ooh.
That was so good. Best Star Wars since '84. In my opinion, it was really, really good. And the soundscape and the musics were awesome there. I really loved it. There were a couple of episodes that were a bit filler kinds, but I remember this is a bit odd to admit, but when it ended, I cried a bit. Or I got trash in my eye.
Nothing wrong with crying.
It was what's going on here? This is so good. Yeah, it was.
But I think they made exactly what the fans wanted. Like, they brought Boba Fett back.
Yeah.
They brought Luke.
Yeah,
briefly.
even in the end. Yeah.
And for the Clone Wars fans also, they brought Ahsoka
Mm.
there, and
It was really good.
Yeah,
It was just really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done, and really respected the old movies that people love, the old ones. So it respected them really much as well. You saw the old robots there and old characters, that kind of stuff. So it was really cool, and the music was awesome. I really loved it.
Have you guys gone much into the books or the shows or anything like that?
I haven't really
Me
read the
neither,
books. Yeah.
Heard good things about the Clone Wars. It
Okay.
was the show, I think, wasn't it? Like a 3D cartoon or something like that.
yeah. I have watched some episode of.
Me too.
those.
I watched some, but
Yeah.
haven't watched all.
Yeah, because that's also basically for children. So when you have seen, let's say, 5 episodes, you know how all the rest of the episodes end. So,
Yeah, kind of that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm trying to think of like how much have they gotten, how much has Disney kept in the canon now? Because I think Disney kind of wiped a bunch of it. So now it's like movies and Clone Wars or something. But it's really a shame that, they've put all this effort into great action, not even honestly that great action, but
Mhm.
like the story is what's really just been missing in these last ones. And I've heard a lot of complaints about, these characters didn't really have personalities. Like you did if you try and like name a quirk about this character that's not based off, like the Force or something, then what are you working with? And what's
True.
the foundation of this character and their motivations? Why are they doing these things? And
Yeah.
I think the first one, at least, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is basically just a New Hope, but
Yeah, I was going to say that's
characters.
basically a copy of A New Hope, the first one.
but not quite as interesting because
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Hope's already been done.
It's true. That is true.
And I'm not that much of a movie geek myself, but what I have noticed and heard is that they make remakes nowadays all the time, and they don't make their own stories and movies anymore.
It's the same in the music industry.
Yeah.
You steal some old melody and use it just somewhere.
Yeah. Because basically what I have read is in the 80s, they just made up everything themselves. They invented new things.
Yeah.
Let's make a movie about this.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Like-
It worked. Yeah.
Like Ghostbusters, I guess, was one of those movies that they didn't really believe in it at all at first, but what happened?
Yeah.
It was a huge success.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they knew and wanted to take risks back then, but nowadays I guess movie makers want to play it safe all the time.
Well, it's
That does seem to be
a hard time, actually. Same in the music industry.
the issue with the mainstream, is that they really just want things that they think will be popular. So, you have a lot of great bands like Machine Supremacy, for example, that I'm always talking about, who, basically felt like they couldn't get anywhere without a label, but then a label also never really got them as a band. So use the label for what they needed it for, and then no thanks. We'd rather just keep making our own music, and if we're never world famous rock stars, that's totally fine.
Well, there's this famous clip of Frank Zappa speaking about music industry that in the past the head of the labels were like these guys who knew nothing about music, and they just took risks. And nowadays, I guess the heads are like people who apparently know everything about music and don't take risks with some weird or experiment bands.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about Better Noise music in North America right now. At least I've been talking to some of their artists doing interviews, and they've said they've been really happy with the production quality there, that the label will take a chance on them and give them suggestions, but for the most part, let them do their production how they like and don't use too heavy of a hand. So it's nice to know that North America is not completely overrun by oppressive labels and things like that.
Well, that's cool that we have still small labels as well, so they can, help smaller and more individual bands to get up and get known a bit more. So that's cool.
So other than Star Wars, what's another big pull? What are some of the things that got you into geekdom when you were young? What were some of the lures?
Do you have something? I already kind of told a bit my background.
Well, I don't know if it's really like about any specific series or type of games, but for me, the gaming was also like a journey of growing up with my brother. So that's like that was a big thing for me because he was 6 years older than me. So I got all my influences from him, basically. So you probably should ask from him where he got his influences and how he got into video games and stuff. Because I basically just did what he did and wanted to mimic him as much as I could, and spend the time with him to become like him. It was like a idol to me, and still is. So it's necessary, not for me, not only the games. It was only a building relationship with my brother. Like for some people, I'm fortunate that I could play games with somebody, because there are many nerds and geeks who just have had to play on their own. So
I played on my own mostly computer games, and I still love mostly playing on my own. That kind of, like Skyrim, you play on your own. I don't like online games myself. They're not my thing. I just want to, focus on the story. That's why I like story-driven games so much. That I'm going to spend the next 18 hours in front of my computer alone. That's it. Leave me alone. That's it. I'm used to that kind of stuff, but I have to, I have to accuse my cousins for luring me into Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. I played with them the first times, those games, and they got me into that. And of course, some of my friends from childhood, they also like computer games and that kind of stuff. So we played together, that kind of stuff. But, before the internet, played together like this, sitting next to us and playing computers, and one was playing, another was guiding, do that, go there, and that kind of stuff. But, that's maybe it. So I have to accuse my cousins and my ex-neighbor guy.
That's great. Cousins are a great resource because they never have the same games that you do, or even the same consoles. I think actually my cousin's Super Nintendo did find its way to me in adult life at some point, but I remember that was our opportunity to play Super Nintendo. We never had the Super Nintendo. We only had the Nintendo. And then we had the Genesis. So Super Nintendo had some really good games, and you only got to play them with the cousins. That was really exciting. I think Super Mario World and Final Fantasy 3, I guess it was called back then. Now it would be Final Fantasy 6. Those were the big SNES games that I think I remember going to the cousins and watching, like, whoa, what is this? This is so cool. Mario Kart? There's no Mario Kart on the NES.
Well, now that you mentioned Final Fantasy, that's one series that I really like. And I'm one of those guys who says that the 8 is the best one, and
Ooh.
all the rest say 8 sucks. It's so bad. But I grew up with the 8, and don't get me wrong, 7 is amazing. But for me, 8 was always like more for me. Right?
Hey, I'm a 9er, so I'm with you.
That's also, 9 was the first one I beat myself, actually. Then was the 8, and then the 7.
You went backwards.
Yeah, I went backwards. And then they started to make these remakes for PlayStation 1. And of course, my brother bought all of those, and I just followed him and played those also.
Yeah.
Brother's also a great resource. I do believe it was my brothers who introduced me to both video games and heavy metal, and they are also 6 years older than me. So I feel you. Yeah, I think it was also how my mom convinced me to read. She'd be like, "Oh, your brothers read the Chronicles of Narnia. Well, your brothers read Lord of the Rings, so maybe you'd like to read it." And I was like, well, if my brothers read them, then they must be pretty good. So, okay, sure. Fetch me some books, mother.
Okay. So Lord of the Rings is the thing for you, it seems, Tolkien stuff.
I think, honestly, it predates that, though. I think it goes back to, like, I read, like, Mrs. Pigglewiggle when I was really little. And yeah, I'm sure you didn't have that here, probably.
I can't remember Mrs. Pigglewiggle.
Oh.
It sounds interesting.
she was... There were these kind of storybooks about her, and she was this kind of magical old lady who was known for not liking adults, but liking kids. And so whenever kids were kind of having troubles with stuff, parents would send them to stay with Mrs. Pigglewiggle, and they would learn responsibility or something. So if your kid wouldn't make their bed, you'd send them to Mrs. Pigglewiggle for a week, and then he'd come home and make his bed every night. And the story would teach you how your child learned to be responsible for pets, or how they learned to clean the kitchen or something like that. But
Okay.
I think I always liked those adventures. She always had pets, and it was always not really like magical, but there was something kind of magical about her. She always smelled like gingerbread cookies. So she was great inspiration for a little kid. And then I think you had her in Finland. This is an old Canadian thing. It was Anne of Green Gables. Is she Viher something Anne? Or
I can't remember that kind of name.
But it was for sure more for little girls than boys. I will say the made-for-TV movie, it's about 4 hours long. I've never shown it to anyone, male or female, that hasn't liked it. But it is a very, like, kind of Canadian timepiece about this orphan girl who, she's just very romantic, and she likes love and stories and being herself. And I think I was always really inspired by her as a kid. So whenever I liked something, I just really liked it. And it might have come from her.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, she was a good influence for like a little girl to like, yeah, just go be yourself. People will like you.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
So good seed for where my personality came from, I guess.
Good advice for everybody.
Yeah. Not nerdy per se, but at least unless you're into like romantic literature, then it's a little nerdy. But I think I've talked to a few women in Finland, like Johanna Kurkela obviously knew who this was. So those are the kind of people I expect to recognize Anne of Green Gables. Not heavy metal dudes.
You kind of missed it.
Yeah. Too busy playing Mega Man.
Yeah. Might be so.
Yeah. I think I liked adventures from a really young age. I liked the Disney Robin Hood. I think I loved to run through the forest and jump over fallen trees as a kid.
Yeah.
That was something deeply enjoyable.
Yeah.
And like my mom would sing the theme song to me or something.
Oh, okay.
Robin
Nice.
Hood and Little John running through the forest.
Oh, you remember it.
And I'd just be hopping off trees and stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to be like an elf or a fairy when I was a kid. Just live in the
Yeah.
woods and collect mushrooms and make a home in a tree. Although now that I think about that, that is still my dream. So
Yeah, so it hasn't gone anywhere. The last job I had, people called me Legolas there, so can't help it.
one of the last jobs I had, my boss called me HR Pup and stuff. I think that's like a Muppet or something.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad. You're a fantasy creature. That's the only thing that matters.
Do you think most of my bosses have considered me a fantasy creature now that you put it that way?
Yeah.
I was always a little bit the odd one out in most of my jobs, surprisingly.
Oh my
Casual work doesn't bring a lot of wannabe fantasy writers in, I suppose.
God. Yeah. Nowadays, it's good that you can work remotely. You know, have to show what you look like.
Yeah.
It's really,
Wearing weird hippie pants and
yeah, whatever.
and heavy metal band shirts all the time.
Yeah, typically. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to find your individuality, and that's actually something I really like about your music, is that I can really feel a lot of your influences in it, but your music doesn't sound like a ripoff of anyone. Like I can't say like, oh yeah, Vansidian sounds like this band meets this band. More like I could call you guys like, it's kind of like a mix of like 14 different bands with a bit of video gaminess to it, and yeah, I don't.
No, that's perfect.
I have succeeded.
You have succeeded, my friend. You've done well. Yeah. So that's really good to hear.
Yeah, because that's the goal.
That's the goal, and that's how I feel as well. That's really cool. Yeah, it's really good.
That's
how I
just
felt.
good art, right? You take all of your influences in, and I guess kind of goes back to what you were kind of saying about labels not taking chances. I suppose the more things that come out, the harder it is to be original. And
It is.
when you can release everything independently digitally these days, then you're lost in a sea of everything else. And so truly in this day and age, standing out is actually really, really hard to do. So to anyone who stands
have
out
to
like
be
you guys,
extremely lucky, I suppose, as well. And even though you have good stuff, there are many bands that have really good songs that never made it really anywhere. So, and it's a bit sad, but I'm happy that I know a couple of those. But still, you just have to be extremely lucky, and
just keep on going.
Yeah, just keep on going anyway. You want to do that stuff anyway, whatever happens. That's the thing.
There's many potential projects that have like they have just stopped because they haven't had the passion to go any further. Like they didn't make it on the first time, so
then they just give up.
Yeah, then just give up. That's
sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I can understand it at the same time. Of course, you put so much effort. Couple of years you make the first record, or how long does it take? But still, you don't get anything out of it. That's, of course, it might disappoint you a bit, but that's not how we think. At least
Yeah.
I don't think so. We're gonna make it anyway. Matti has good songs coming up already.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know you have.
well, truly, there's not really any such thing as succeed and fail in art. I don't think it's succeed or give up.
Yeah.
Succeed or quit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't fail. It's just you keep, it's like fishing. You keep casting the hook until you catch something. And
Yeah,
usually if you go fishing, you still enjoyed your day of fishing, even if you didn't bring a fish back.
even if you play computer game, if you're gonna get through it this day, you still keep going because you just like playing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're not gonna finish with anything because we enjoy it. So it's really cool.
It helps that everyone seems to be really liking your music so far.
Yeah, of course it helps.
Yeah,
and it motivates us to do even more, of course. But still it doesn't, or at least I do music or play music or that kind of stuff because I like it. Just that's the thing. It's a bonus if I get paid. If someone likes it, it's a bonus. But I would do it anyway.
that's
much
In
like me writing, I think. I just want to do it. I have to do it. It's my outlet for if I'm angry or upset or anything.
That's it.
Just had to create like a vigilante character to help deal with my unbridled rage towards society.
That's it.
Yeah, just there's certain things that I cannot just deal with. World is terrible, so I have to create a character who's gonna go do all the terrible stuff that I wish I would do if
Yeah. But
things
that's
were
what
legal.
Stuff is so good. That's why I love the escapism of it, because I love the stories and I want to go to that world to watch some series or movies. I want to stay there. And that's why I like origin games as well. So I want to just go into that world and stay there. Forget about this real life for a while, and then when I'm relaxed I can come back and deal with my bills and whatever shit I have.
And for me, it's usually always, if you can pick in a video game to be a hero or villain, I always choose to be the bad guys. Like that's my place to be bad, because it's not real life, so I can be there, the guy who destroys everything.
Yeah, you're too nice in real life, so you can give your dark side room there.
I mean, I would go so far as to say it's the opposite. Like, you let your dark side out in the video games so you can be nice in real life. Like, everyone always was worried that, violence in video games will make your kids violent. I'm like, no, man, that's where you go get it out of our system.
Yeah, that is true.
If I didn't drive around like a lunatic murdering pedestrians in Grand Theft Auto, I'd do it in real life.
Yeah, you don't know what I would do in real life. No, but it's same in music, at least for me. When we go to the rehearsal place, sometimes you don't really feel like, okay, we have rehearsals, but then when you start playing and singing, then it's god damn, it feels good. It's the same kind of feeling, I think.
Yeah.
After that, you feel so good. And even during that, you start to feel so good that, oh, fuck, this is so awesome. This is why I love to do this. So, yeah.
Incredible.
It's really cool. Yeah.
So what are some other, let's say, classic, how do I want to phrase this?
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles. I just answered.
Ninja
Turtles.
Yeah.
Matti wants to talk about Ninja Turtles.
I'm always good with talking about Ninja Turtles. I had a dream about the Ninja Turtles when I was young, and I think it was really confusing for me because I thought that somehow there was something real in this dream, and that the Ninja Turtles were actually real or something.
Where your turtle
girls. I was disappointed when Ninja Turtles weren't real.
But in a dream where you're a turtle yourself?
I don't think so. I think I was critical to helping them pull something off.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I'm usually a support character. Incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is even the rental
Yeah,
Very
that's
soon.
that's so cool. That's a rare one. That's a rare one. Yeah.
Incredible. So which was the best of the old Turtles? Was it the shows, the movies, the action figures?
Well, the first cartoons and the first two movies, because the third one sucked when they went to Japan to do some samurai stuff or something. That's not good. But like, yeah, the first cartoon was the thing that started my Turtles super fanatic. how you say it. I don't know the term, but like Turtles, it's a huge influence on my life as well as because my favorite one is Donatello and he's the Gigi.
He's the geeky one. Yeah.
I hate to say I don't know which one was my favorite. I only know that Leonardo's the blue one, and then I know the rest of them by color. I like the red guy. He was my guy.
I was Leonardo guy because he had two swords. Two swords. I liked it. I had the action figures and I liked the first series, but I haven't so much played the games. And maybe I've seen one movie. Not sure.
Yeah, I think they're from the 90s, maybe.
Yeah.
We had the first one in VHS.
Oh, my.
It was amazing.
Oh, this remember brings back memories. I was disappointed at my mother at the time. Here's to you, mother. Because, when you're in elementary school, you get school books and you cover with plastic or what is it called? No, does it have a specific name?
It's like
sure,
or something.
we covered them anyway. And my mother had bought me Turtles covers, but they were in goddamn Italian or something. It said Tortugas. And I was like, Mom, I can't wear these. Oh my God, I was so disappointed. Wasn't this the Turtles? Like, Tortuga? Oh my God, Mom. What have you done? I can't go to school with this.
Huge. Oh, wow.
Yeah, oh my God. I guess she got them cheaper somewhere. I don't know.
Incredible.
Oh my God, it didn't fit in English Turtles. It's Tortugas.
Where do you even get like Italian turtles in Finland?
Where did she even get that? I have no idea. Yeah, I remember it clearly.
We market in a foreign neighborhood.
I was so ashamed to go to school with those covered with that. Oh my God.
One of those things that's really important when you're a kid.
Yes, it's totally. Are Levi's jeans genuine or not? And do you have Turtles covers or Tortugas? Oh my God.
Tortuga.
This is why you get bullied at school.
Yeah.
How you get bullied in school. Thanks, Mom.
That's actually another place where the cousins stood out because my cousin had all of the Ninja Turtles action figures. I didn't have any Ninja Turtles action figures. They were maybe a little too boy for me or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so when I got to go to my cousin's place, he had like Shredder and like 14 versions of all of the Turtles because they all came with every set. So it's good. We got to, everyone could play whichever turtle they wanted.
Nice. That's cool. I was a huge He-Man fan, actually. I had He-Man figures. Yeah. I remember collecting from my weekly allowance to get enough to buy more figures. Yeah. I went local toy store and poured all my, coins there, huge bag of coins, poured them on the table, count them. I want that. So that was a funny memory, but yeah, I like the He-Man series and the figures. I played with them, but there were also turtle figures in between, and what else? I had also Star Wars figures as well. I remember, but yeah, they're long gone, lost somewhere or given to some other grandchildren or whatever. I don't know.
I for sure had so much Lego. I mostly just got it from my brothers when they were done with it. 6 years older than me. I got a lot of hand-me-down Lego.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
But I think my mom was against Barbie. She's like a little too feminist for that. So she was like, no, Barbie's going to give you bad body image or something. So I never had Barbies. So I'm sure she'd have been happy to buy me a G.I. Joe if I wanted one. But yeah, she's also... Sorry?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
No. She also likes collecting stuff, so we always had really weird toys around the house, like collectors stuff that she'd get from like garage sales, so like vintage McDonald's Mario action figures or stuff like that.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you'd really find some treasures in there.
Yeah.
I can actually show you one. I think I've got one right here. Something I found in the garage sale pile.
What is that?
Ganondorf,
Ganondorf?
Some sort of
isn't it?
Ocarina of Time Ganondorf. Of course,
Yeah.
having gotten
Okay,
this
I
from a
don't know.
garage sale, I have no idea what he's from. But I think I do have the like 3 Horsemen official Zelda figures from Ocarina of Time where they're all riding their horses. And this guy for sure doesn't have a horse. So he's not one of them.
Okay.
No idea where he came from, but I think he cost 5 cents at a garage sale.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Matti, you were about to say.
Yeah, I was going to say that as a kid, I always said to everybody that my dream job is to become a Lego engineer.
Yeah.
Some dude who makes up these cool Lego designs.
Yeah.
And I think I might have even said it when I was like in high school. Still, I
Cool.
would say that
Cool.
I'm gonna be a Lego engineer. But
Well, it's still a dream job.
Yeah.
Would be really cool.
Yeah.
Would
That's
like
like-
that.
I wonder what kind of education you need to get hired by Lego. You have to imagine that's like a pretty sought after job. Do you need to be like an architect or something?
No idea.
no,
Haven't really pursued that dream, but seemed a bit distant, but still beautiful
Yeah.
dream.
I think as a kid, I was like, oh, that'd be the best job, but I would probably not be good at it. I always remember my brothers making like cool spaceships, and my stuff always looked really dumb. So I was like, no, this is not my best creative outlet. I will say though, I hate girly Lego these days. Every time I
Okay.
see it, my brain throws a little temper tantrum like, I didn't need this to be curvy to like it when I was little. Damn you, Lego. This is bullshit.
This is bullshit Lego. Yeah.
That's
I haven't
Lego
watched what's
friends.
latest Lego. I have no idea. I've only seen they have really, really cool and nerdy Star Wars Lego stuff.
Mhm.
I've saw them because that would be so awesome to have this huge Death Star in your living room. That would be cool.
or Millennium.
Or
Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that would be nice.
I did have a friend who that was like his vice was the big Star Wars Lego thing. So like he would just save up his money for a couple months and then drop it
Yeah.
on this Death Star that was like,
Oh my god,
Huge
that would be
and-
so nice.
if
I've
it
been thinking about it.
if it falls over, you're gonna cry.
Yeah, that's true. I need a bigger apartment. It wouldn't fit here.
I hate to admit that I only have one Lego thing in Finland though. I have my Black Pearl. And I will
Okay,
say
nice.
I ordered this, and I had a friend who ordered the Queen Anne's Revenge, and then
Mhm.
I went over to his house with a box, and we built our Legos while watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was
Oh, nice.
this was like an absolutely adult date. Just
That's
2 people
all very
building
great.
Lego, watching
Oh.
movies.
That's cool.
It
That's
was
cool.
great, but I'm sad to say I don't have it set up in my geek den here because before we moved, one of my cats decided to knock it off shelf, and it's
Ah,
smashed all over the floor. Nothing important broke, but I just have not gotten to putting it back together.
oh,
It's been like
okay.
2 years now.
I've given all my Lego to the next generation already. So
I still have all my.
You still have?
I have them at my parents' place. So
I don't know where they are because I gave them to my sister's kids, but now they are adults already. So,
It's time to come
so
back.
I don't
to
know
you.
where they are. I don't know where they are. Maybe I can get them back now.
See, actually, I wonder the same thing because I think my mom like sold all my Lego to my cousin, who then gave it to her kids, and her kids must be like in their close to 20s by now. So
Yeah, kind of the same
maybe,
situation there. Yeah.
maybe there's some Lego to be recovered somewhere. What am I gonna do with
Yeah, I
it
don't
now,
have
though?
room.
I for sure brought. I had this like great submarine set of like all these scuba divers and they're like floating boats and all sorts of stuff, and I would for sure take that into the bathtub with me. The side
Yes.
of the bathtub was always just like for 2 days just covered in all of the Lego drying out.
Lego Fortress there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bathtub Lego. That was always good.
Uh,
I think probably some of my ultimate childhood memories are associated with playing Lego.
Oh, they were a really huge part of my life as well, really.
yeah, we used to have this game with my brother that we would build up cars,
Mhm.
and then we would like crash them. Like we had a competition whose car would like explode first.
Oh,
Yeah, that was our game.
we
Wait,
actually
Was the goal that your car was supposed to explode or not explode?
Yeah. You were supposed to destroy the other one's car. Like you had to so solid car that it wouldn't explode on the impact.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And the one who our car stayed safe was the winner.
okay.
Wouldn't you just end up making like a van that's just a brick wall?
That was basically my goal. Always.
Brick wall with wheels.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, here's kind of a geeky question about the Lego. What were the kind of sets that drew you to them? Because I know there's even then like a lot of selection, and right when I was getting into it, they started releasing like Wild West Lego that was crazy cool. Was it spaceships or castles?
Maybe all the technique ones, like which had some small pumps or something, but they were always so expensive that I just had to take these basic ones.
Yeah.
But Star Wars Legos have always been great, and maybe some construction things like tractor type of things, and those have always been like have catch my eye in the toy stores.
I know your tractor teams. Yeah, I had lots of stuff. Maybe if there was some genre or something, it was just some spacecraft or something, but I had lots of different kind of. I had, hospitals, pirate ships, spaceships, whatever. Everything worked with me. I don't know, because I made up my own stuff out of them usually. That was the thing with my best friend when I was a child. We made our own. It was a bit the same with my cousin. We made our own stuff, and then we had our adventures there. We had stories, what happens here, and okay, this is a dungeon, he goes there, that kind of stuff we made out of Lego as well. So I have that kind of memory as well. But
yeah,
so nothing that specific, what genre or something, but
there's
mostly
something
making our own.
really like nostalgic about always having like a bucket of Lego that is just, you don't even know where, you don't have enough manuals in your house to justify this number of loose Lego pieces.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
multiply when you're not looking or something like that.
True. You don't even know what's in the box anymore because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
It's
Now
so
I
fun.
remember
Go ahead.
there was this Bionicle thing.
Oh yeah.
They were some kind of ninja robots
Something
or
like that.
something like that. And those I collected a lot
Okay.
back in the day.
I was too old already
Yeah.
that stage.
I remember those, but I think that was during my I'm really disappointed in Lego right now phase. So I think there came a point where I got mad at Lego because I felt like rather than being creative with the design, they were just making up too many new pieces, and it wasn't kind of like handcrafted anymore. It didn't feel like I didn't get excited to put this thing together because I was like, well, it's like 5 pieces now. So I got
that is true.
really disappointed in it, but I've been paying attention lately and it seems like they've got some cool stuff again. Although I will say they've got Mario Lego now and I don't get it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Well, I think it's cool.
Why is he square? Why did they
That's-
make it look like Minecraft? I don't get it.
That's sucked. So I think the design is decent of the Mario nowadays.
I guess
But
it's
like
kind of
imagine
fit stuff.
imagine building a whole Super Mario level through your house.
Yeah.
And then just
That's
like
a nice idea, actually. Yeah.
jumping
Then
with
you
the
can play
Mario.
with there.
Yeah.
You can
And it has
sing
this
your own soundtrack.
and it has this sound effects and all. If you
Oh,
jump
really?
to the cube,
Oh, really? They have
it
that?
bling bling
Oh,
bling.
no. Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
I'm such like an old school Lego fan, but I'm like, why didn't they just make them normal Legos? Why are they all square? I don't get it. But I think that's just kind of that like whiny nerd rage of like, why did you make something different?
Yeah, I like the old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't change stuff. Mm.
Yeah, that's true. My childhood was the real one.
There's
Yeah.
a wonderful series that used to be part of, I think, College Humor. Maybe it still is. It's called Actually. It's like a game show where they give you a
Okay.
wrong statement and you have to respond with actually, and then correct the statement.
Okay,
It's delightful.
sounds annoying already.
All geeky
Actually.
stuff. Their backdrop is
Yeah.
like people going like this and like a poke cube
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think, I don't know, all sorts of weird stuff that are not quite right. I think they've got like Hulk Crocs too, just because that makes people uncomfortable.
Oh no. Geeky, uncomfortable stuff. Yeah.
It's a great show in that sense because you get to test your own nerd cred against like professional nerds, basically.
Yeah, pro nerds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's good. Watching a lot of their College Humor guys are pretty geeky, so they have their own like geek service that's Dropout, I think, nowadays, and they do a lot of weird geeky stuff over there, and this is one of the things. They also did something that was along the lines of like Pokemon. If you know what's written in the Pokédex was true in like reality, like just like
Mhm.
the constant cataclysms that would happen because these like earth-shattering gods are stomping around the world all the time. It's messed up. Don't ever think about that world literally. Were you guys
Haven't had
into
much
Pokemon as kids, or?
No,
A lot.
Matti was.
I had cards and I had games on Game Boy, and I was my own Ash Ketchum at the time. I
Were you-
wanted to be the very And still, I want to be the very best. I have on Switch, I have the Pokemon Shield, actually. Haven't beat up it yet, but I really like it. I love Pokemon games. And have a couple Squirtle teddy bears at home and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Was Squirtle your starter Pokemon, or who was your go-to?
Always. Still to this day, if I could somehow pick him as a starter, I will.
So has it always been turtles with you? You like the Ninja Turtles? You like Squirtle?
I guess it is. Yeah,
You're a turtle guy.
I at some point as a child I wanted to have a real turtle as a pet, but at some point I guess I realized it doesn't do that much in the aquarium, so I prefer my Ninja Turtles and Squirtle instead.
They poop a lot.
Oh, really?
Like those cousins, they had a turtle for a while, and it was in just like a pretty basic normal size aquarium, and they would have had to change the water like every single day because the turtle just pooped it dirty.
Oh, really?
They need a lot of space to poop, apparently. It also, I think, randomly one day decided to rip off all of the fins off one of their goldfish.
Oh.
I don't know whatever happened to that turtle. I think they gave it away. I realized the turtles were not that great.
Imagine having 4 turtles then.
Yeah.
Real turtles. Like, how much poop that
yeah. Running around the room.
I've heard that tortoises can be very cuddly, though. They like to, like have their shells washed and their heads scratched.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It sounds cute.
And not so much poop.
Yeah. At least they have legs so they can wander around and poop in the bushes or something.
Yeah.
But I followed like one lizard breeder or something on Instagram because she breeds Chinese bearded dragons and they're beautiful, and I just love looking at pictures of them. And she showed a picture of the tortoise that they have, and it's big and it's heavy, and if she pays too much attention to the other lizards, the tortoise will go and like sit on her foot and like headbutt her ankle and like demand attention. It seems really cute.
Nice.
So it's not turtles, it's tortoises you have to get.
Tortoises.
Yeah. Not the water ones, land ones.
Boys or girls.
Well, so what other nerd territories have we not covered yet? I feel like we've covered a lot already. How about books? Yeah. Have you guys done a lot of sci-fi or fantasy reading?
I have basically done zero. I never got into books, any kind of books at all. Well, I only read guitar magazines. Like, that's like at school books when I was forced, but I never have got into books. It was never my thing.
I read books myself. Of course, Lord of the Rings was great, and like I said, the Dragonlance stuff, I read some of that, and then sci-fi stuff I read. My favorite book of all time is, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's it. It's really awesome.
Actually, I have read that.
You have read that
because I was forced.
You were forced
in school.
Well, it's one of the best. If I have to say one, I would say Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of my favorites. But it was because that's the only one that I've when I read it younger the first time, I've never laughed out loud. But that book made me laugh out loud when reading, I was laughing in my bed. And, reading it evening, my parents came to watch. What are you doing? I'm just reading this awesome book here. And so that's why I have to say it's really, really good. Really good. But yeah, there are lots of other stuff as well. Mostly then sci-fi. I haven't read fantasy lately, but nowadays sci-fi Ray Bradbury and that kind of stuff. Classics mostly.
Well, I
I'm
have read
very
the
ashamed to
first
admit that.
Harry.
Oh, sorry.
I have read the first Harry Potter back in the day,
Okay.
and I actually liked it because you had to imagine how Harry Potter would look like
That
in
is
your
true.
head.
That is true.
But I even after that, I really didn't get into the books.
Yeah, for me, I somehow read the 5th book or something first. I don't know why. But then I started from the beginning, read everything, watched the movies, listened to the audiobooks of Harry Potter. So I got really into that as well. So yeah, I like that as well. So
Yeah, I'm sad
What
about
else?
Harry Potter right now. I guess. Well, it's
Oh.
still okay to like Harry Potter, but it's not okay to like J.K. Rowling anymore. She's getting canceled or something these days. But
Oh, that's
But-
a shame.
yeah, well, it's always disappointing to find out that like great artists are terrible people. Deep down.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's kind of sad. But I have to say, I'm really embarrassed about this, but I've never read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and this
oh,
just came to my attention because my friend just turned 42, and I
Hmm.
was like, oh no, I am also pretty old, and I still haven't read this book. How is that possible now? Like, I feel like that's something on like a
Time.
textbook I need to for sure read because I'm
recommend it. It's really fun, and
losing my nerve.
I like
brain.
that absurdness and surreal humor. I like that a lot. I don't know, it makes me laugh at least. So
I did watch that movie, but I heard that the people who read the
It's
book
awful.
didn't think it was very good.
it's really awful, the movie. But we are lucky in Finland. We have actually, it's maybe 80 something, maybe 84 or 86. They've made the Finnish national radio has made, this kind of, what's it called? Audio acting of it. The Hitchhiker Guides to the Galaxy. And it's really good. It's really good quality. I've listened to it many times. It's one of my favorites. If I don't get sleep at night, I put it on and listen to it. And it's really good. It's they made really good, radio theater it's called. Yeah. So it's radio theater, and they have really, at the time, top actors there as well from the 80s. And so it's really well made, and I really enjoy it. So I'm happy that the Finnish national radio have made that kind of stuff, and it's really good quality and
Awesome.
good for me. Lucky me. So I really enjoy it. It's really good.
Did you, when you were listening to Harry Potter, did you listen to the Stephen Fry version, or did you have a different version?
No, the Finnish version. We have really good Finnish actor. So also, talking that, so it was really good. Finnish actor Vesa Vierikko is talking, so he's really good. I like his voice, and
Who
he's
is
really
this?
good. Vesa Vierikko,
Okay.
actor.
I thought you said Vesa Matti Loiri, and I was like, he did.
No, Vesa Matti Loiri. Vesa Vierikko.
Incredible.
I have only heard those. This series in YouTube called YouTube Poop, like when they glitch the sounds and voices those stupid clips. I have only heard of him speaking those Harry
Oh, really?
Potter things. and
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
I think they are hilarious. But
I have to watch it. I have to watch it.
that kind of humor is not for everybody. YouTube Poop. Yeah.
I have to remember. You have to show me.
After this, I will link it to you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So that's one of my favorites, at least. There are many other books, but what else? Well, then it's maybe some Tolkien stuff and that kind of.
Did you read The Witcher?
I've listened to audiobooks. I haven't
Okay.
read it.
I've heard the
Listen to audio.
Finnish translation was actually better than the English translation, although I don't know if it was just because maybe the Eastern language is a little closer to Finnish than to English. But I
might be. I've listened to the English version myself, but I
okay.
have to listen to the Finnish version.
Yeah,
See? Okay. So if people saying that, so good.
Yeah, one of the few where I've heard that a different translation is recommended over the English one. I think the first book, not the short story book, the Blood of Elves or something, it's kind of boring in English, and I've heard it's much better in Finnish. So
That's good recommendation. I have to check it out. Okay.
although I do think noitori is a little bit of a weird word.
Yeah. It's a bit tough one.
They're not
Yeah.
easy things to translate necessarily, fantasy phrases.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. There might be some unique words there. But yeah, I haven't read in a couple of years a lot lately, but it has been like with many people. I've been listening to audiobooks and podcasts and that kind of stuff mostly now. There are a couple of good actually podcasts about fantasy and sci-fi and horror that I've been listening. So that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't really have the patience for podcasts usually, but now when I'm playing like roguelike games on the PlayStation, that's when I listen. I mostly listen to D&D podcasts, actually. I'm also a nerd. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Yeah, so I listen to D&D podcasts and play video games at the same time.
That's double nerdy.
Yeah. While occasionally also listening to heavy metal to level it out and make it cooler.
Man. Depends on what you listen to.
Yeah. Vansidian, obviously.
Yeah, that's the way.
That's called ass kissing.
Yeah, I have actually one D&D campaign going at the moment. We're playing it remotely at the moment. It's really cool. It works quite well, actually, even remotely,
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah, we have cameras on the table, and then we can discuss what we're doing, and so it's okay.
Nice.
It's okay to do that as well.
We've just started Curse of Strahd. We're about 3 or 4 sessions in, so we're just getting started and feeling out our characters. It was a weird time when you've got this character down on paper, but you're like, okay, but how do you actually respond in situations? Those first episodes where you're just kind of like, I don't know what you do yet.
Yeah, we are using the app on our pads. It's really cool. You can roll the dice even there, and then the other guys see it there online. So it's D&D Beyond. That app is quite good. And what other games? I was actually on my kitchen table. I have with my friend. We are playing Warhammer at the moment. We have the game going on there, and so every Monday we play Warhammer in my kitchen table. So I have the setup already there, always ready.
Love Warhammer, but I have no idea how to play it. I just really like the idea of painting minis.
Yeah, that's fun. Also, if I had time, I would do lots of things. But
only there were playing.
Yeah, and board games overall. From time to time, we have. Let's say once a week we have this kind of session that we play some board games. So that's cool also. Yeah.
Well, I really like the Exploding Kittens.
Exploding Kittens.
We played
That's a fun game.
That's a really fun board game.
Yeah. Or card game, actually.
Card.
Card. Actually.
No, actually, it's a card game. Here we go.
Now it's
starts.
Now the nerds have really come out.
Yeah. It took this time.
We got a great game recently that's called Isle of Cats, and you have to fill your boat with cats to rescue them from their island because the Lich is coming. Got surprisingly less backstory for just a rescue cats game. It's Delightful
Okay.
though. It's all about strategizing how many cats you can fit on your boat with this kind of Tetris-y
Right.
mechanism.
Okay, but no one's gonna explode or something. I hope not.
I think just once the lich arrives, everything you don't save dies.
Okay.
Kind of like a Noah's Ark situation where you're just trying to rescue as many cats as you can before the end of their existence.
The other cats hostile to each other or something.
Not necessarily. I don't
Okay.
know if there's that much lore, but yeah, the lich is
that-
coming. The lich
Okay.
is coming. Save
This
the
is
cat.
coming. Rescue the cats. Okay.
It's also perfect because when you lift the lid off the box and hold it up, it says like insert cat here during setup. So you're supposed to put the lid on the ground and then the cat sits in it. Perfect.
Okay. Perfect.
Every time I put it on the ground, someone goes to sit in it. So
Yeah. That's how it goes.
so it's just about 5:00. How's your time? Are you wanting to wrap it up pretty quick?
Yeah, should be. I have actually Geek coming up, so
Playing or
I should
watching?
be watching
Hmm.
and play.
Ooh.
Yeah, actually, I have to be in 1 hour to local pub playing some troubadour gigs. So
Epic. I love it.
yeah, I have to go there soon. So
Well, I guess I can let you get on with your afternoon. Thank you so much for coming and being my guests and nerding it up with me.
yeah, sure, it was really
Thanks.
fun. Really fun.
It's always nice. I love there's so much to geekdom now. I just love talking to people about, okay, like, what are you into? Tell me
Yeah.
your nerdy stuff. This
Yes.
is always fun. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having us. It was really fun. Really fun to share some of our nerdy stuff with
Yeah.
you.
Incredible.